So my homework was Hobbs and Shaw, and we did an in-depth review about that. So obviously, I don't need to go over my homework. But you had Olympus Has Fallen because
is fallen or has fallen?
Olympus Has Fallen.
Okay.
Yeah, Olympus Has Fallen, and I mean, I gave you that because the newest one, the third one, came out this past week.
Correct.
Which did pretty well. It was number 1 in the box office. It made $20 million opening weekend, which is really.
Whenever I hear number 1 in the box office, I ignore everything after that, because if you lead with that, you'd have it all depends on what comes out against you. And if I don't know of anything else that came out that week besides the trailers we actually watched on here, then that means nothing to me. So.
Well, it made $20 million at the box office, so that's good for.
That's good for number 1.
For the level it's at, it's not going to be a game, or it's not going to be an end game or anything like that. But yes, for normal movies, yes. Okay. So, jump into Olympus Has Fallen. What'd you think?
Olympus Has Fallen. It was the first of the trilogy, like you said on there. So I knew the good guy was going to live in the end. So that didn't give me any sense of danger for the main character. I did not see the situation where at the very beginning a fucking log hits the limo and they get ready to drive it off a bridge into some snowy waters, and he has to save the president. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They couldn't get the door open to their wife, and I understand. They didn't even address it. They were just like, all of a sudden he's working for the Treasury, and I'm like, oh yeah, he got demoted because that is hard.
The president was pissed.
Well, yeah, because he would have obviously any man would sacrifice himself for his wife, but at the
he
same
knows
time,
he has to save the president,
right? So he knows that's why. So he saved him. He's pissed. Gave him his job at the Treasury. He's not happy. He wants in. My first main disappointment with this movie.
Okay. I was gonna say, maybe start with something as your highlight.
My highlight was that I didn't see the log coming. I was like, was that staged? And
seriously?
It wasn't. It was like straight up. That was a highlight of the first part. But I did like how coordinated the attack was. I didn't like how uncoordinated everybody of special forces in the United States was. It was so bad.
Was that what you were disappointed in?
That was my disappointment. I was
as a U.S. citizen, mad. I'm disappointed in this movie because
they pull a Gatling gun out, point it at the doors, and you know what the art guys do? They're like, just keep running through the doors. Run through the doors and set up right here. Block the doors with your bodies for the bullets. I was so pissed. They're like mowing people down, and people just kept going through the fucking door. I'm like, what the hell? The response time for him was 20 minutes to get a special unit on site at the White House. It was 20 minutes? Are you kidding me? That was fucking dumb.
That's
Planes
probably
coming
not
in,
accurate.
flying over. It's flying in, and then they just get lit up. There's no way they would allow even a straight-on approach like that. I was hot.
Wasn't believable. It wasn't believable. Now, you don't
hot.
know the actual protocols for that.
I wish somebody would tell me, because they would be like, I can't watch that movie because I know it's shit. What I did like when they the terrorists they wanted it to show that they were prepared, but they wanted to emphasize it by showing how little prepared we were, and which I didn't like. I would have liked them to be more prepared and us be prepared, but they actually know the protocols because they had the inside guy. If they know the protocols, then I would have loved to see our protocols going into action and then them being countered instead of them just being flat out better across the board. Yeah. Didn't like that at all.
I like that. I think that would have elevated it.
The two semi-trucks or whatever that pull in and get catty corner and then open up the doors to be able to have Gatling guns in there, and they blow out the tires, they bomb the tires out of their own vehicles, so it can't be moved, can't be towed, it's got to be drug out of the way.
Yeah.
So it's a pain in the ass. I loved that idea. They didn't do anything with it. They blew out the tires, and nobody even gave the line of, like, we're trying to clean up to be able to get in there with our heavy vehicles, blah, blah, blah. No, none of that. It was just blew out the tires. Oh, cool. But most people would have been like, why the fuck did they do that? They can't drive away now. You're fucking dumb if you thought that. Look at this vein coming out of my neck. You see this shit?
Just keep going. Okay.
He's at the Treasury. He looks out the window. He sees shit going down, and because he sees shit going down, obviously, a guy who is demoted has instant access to the White House grounds when nobody else in the fucking country does. So he just waltzed up in that bitch. And
well, it was under fire. He didn't watch us literally. Nobody's stopping him.
Yeah, he goes up the front lawn and he's popping people. I did like how he was using trees for cover and popping what he could. I thought they again.
Because he was coming in from behind, so all their focus is at the White House.
I thought they again made
the
the protocols of the defense of the White House. I thought they made them so bad that it made the terrorists look better and him look better. He looked like the only expert. There's people that literally train their entire lives to guard the White House, to guard the president, to guard that facility, and they look like Joe Schmo down at fucking Walmart that just got hired. With they're like getting shot at, and they're like standing up like, looks like fire's coming from over, dead. And I'm supposed to feel guilty about them dying? No, they were just trying to pull. Okay.
Moving on. So
I need to calm down.
The White House has fallen. They're in the bunker, and he's kind of roaming around upstairs or whatever. So go on.
When they went to the bunker, or they're going to the bunker, I did like somebody was like, "You can't bring them. That's not protocol." And he's like, "Fuck protocol." Now, to be honest with you, I believe even though the president has final say, fuck protocol doesn't matter if he says that or not. We're not bringing them in. So that was another kind of, again,
I don't think they would bring them in either.
Correct. So that was frustrating.
There would be a separate security for them somewhere else. I think that's probably, like, visitors probably have a separate security in
right. I don't know how I feel about the whole them needing 3 codes for Cerberus. I understand the term Cerberus, 3-headed dog, and it's a great defense for being able to take anything out for nuclear warheads, etc. on there. It's meant to be when the nuke is launched, we can blow it up before it gets there. That's great and all. This is definitely dated information, by the way. And when he's wanting the first one, the guy had a knife to his throat, and he's like, "Just give him the code, he'll never get mine." You know, Harvey Dent over here. Yeah. And he gives him the code. And you're like, all right. So he's like trying to save his people because he'd rather die than give up his code. And then the woman's getting the shit kicked out of her. And she's holding strong. But she's broken ribs and spitting up and everything. I honestly thought it would have been better if once he was like, give her the code. They'll never get mine. If she gives him the code and then they shoot her. Just to show they don't care anything about the code. But they were like, "Oh, thanks, here. Sorry, let me put you back down." I mean, they used her later on as, fake deaths inside the helicopter. But then they get to him, and he's just like, "Everyone gave the code, but you never get mine." They're like, "We don't need it. We just hacked the last code. What the fuck was all that about? They didn't even need it. If they could hack the codes, why the fuck did they care about the first 2?
Maybe the all 3 of them, like, you connect them, and if you have 2,
then what's the point in 3?
The third one easier to
What's the point in having 3 then?
I don't know.
Okay.
But go ahead.
I do like how all of them were from North Korea, and they had to, they had 2 women. One was the intelligent hacker, because a hot Asian hacker is always good to have. And number 2 was a sniper outside, and she got domed. She got chrome domed right in the top of the head, thump, and it was our hero. So there were 2 what happened to the other woman? Did she end up dying? I don't even remember how she died.
I haven't seen it in so long, I don't know.
Anyways, there was a lot of things I didn't like, because if you're trying to make it that real and you put that much effort into it, definitely give me the full-fledged thing, not just the action behind it. There were a lot of protocols I believe we would have had.
What do you think of the action? Like his
I enjoyed the action
where he's moving like through the White House. Like I very
the
much
back
like,
walls and everything.
That stuck out to me, that he like knew the White House and his physical contact with everybody. Like he whooped ass, but it still showed him getting hurt. It was real. With
him moving to the White House, knowing where everything is, that was made precedent at the beginning of the movie. Mainly because he's been doing it for so long, and he actually has a passion for his job. A lot of people probably know all about him, but they probably forget these things. Like, I can give an example of this, but when at the beginning of the movie, the kid's riding with him, the president's son, and he's quizzing the kid with this. How many steps to the elevator? And he's just popping the questions off, and the kid's answering left, right, and he's like, "We'll make a Secret Service person out of you yet. Just put on your damn seatbelt." So that was nice, because it didn't feel like it was forced information. But if you went into the movie knowing what the movie is going to be about, then it kind of did feel forced. If you went into it fresh, it's a different story. The villain, where else has he been a villain? Because he seems to be the typical Asian villain guy. Like I've seen him multiple times.
I think he was in.
Was he DK? Was he the actual guy in Too Fast, Too Furious?
I don't know. Too Fast, Too Furious was my least favorite one.
No, Tokyo Drift.
Tokyo Drift.
Was he DK?
He was.
He was?
He was.
I never get faces and names right. I knew I saw him from somewhere.
By the way, if we're wrong, then that's really racist.
No, I'm honest. I thought it was true. I'm not just being like, they all look alike. I'm not that guy. No, I figured I've seen him as a villain somewhere else. I recognize the face.
He does it really well.
Yeah. Overall, it was just a casual movie. I did like the escape plan they had. I thought it could have been more well done. I think the writers wrote themselves into a corner with, we're going to fake that the plane blew up and everyone died inside of it. I also don't like how they said no agency on the planet has ever gotten a picture of him. And who would have thought to look inside South Korea's own government to find him? And I'm like, you don't this guy's face to face with the president. You don't like get creds on this. So there's a lot of overlooked stuff just to enjoy the fighting of it. His fighting felt good. It didn't feel like just Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger running in with two guns, can't get shot,
it felt real.
Realer, yes, I agree with you on that. Overall, on the movie, for grade-wise, I mean, I know there's two more that have happened on there, but overall, in the movie-wise, I'd say probably looking at a D+.
I feel like that's rough. You're such a negative Nancy.
I am a tough grader.
You are.
It's one that if it was back on, I would rewatch it just to see how many little things, because I went into it with an open mind, like, okay, I understand why they did that. Okay,
you would nitpick it the second time.
The second time, I would rip the fucking shreds. I would rip that shit. Oh my god. Oh look, they have the room with all of the network security in there, and it's one guy. Okay, gotcha. One guy defending that. So D+. It passes. But it's not one I would recommend to a friend.
All right. Well,
Or an enemy.
Sad, but okay.
Awesome.